Good afternoon, folks. I'm David Jameson, president of the Aiken Chamber of Commerce, and this is a new session of Ask the Expert. Our expert today is Tim O'Brien. Tim is the Director of Economic Development for the City of Aiken. And Tim, the city, along with the Chamber and others, have been working on a new revolving loan fund that we hope will be a lifeline for businesses as they wait for other funding to come along. Tim, what's the actual name of this fund?
The actual name of the fund is the Small Business Revolving Loan Program. And it is, the prefix, I guess, is the COVID-19 Small Business Revolving Loan Program. I prefer to call it Aiken Helps, which is the Healthy Economy Loan Program.
Well,
so we'll transition to that name.
That makes a lot of sense. You know, the thing that amazes me is that this fund came together with 4 partners in 4 days and raised $1 million. I really appreciate what the city did. Can you talk a little bit about how that happened?
Right, and I really want to highlight our amazing partners who have participated in this because it is really a community effort. We spoke very early to some leaders in the community and the business community, including you, David, just to vet the idea and see what people thought of it. And very quickly, the chamber stepped up with guarantee funds. Security Federal has just been heroic in these efforts, offering to do the servicing of the loans and the creditworthiness checks and underwritings for the city. Really the heavy lifting of the program. And of course, the Aiken Corporation as well agreed to become a guarantor partner. So that's the Chamber of Commerce, the Aiken Corporation, Security Federal, and the City of Aiken. And of course, the city applied funds that we had budgeted and expected to apply to economic development incentives and projects, studies, site plans for new business and attracting new residents to the community, which the Chamber and the Aiken Corporation have certainly been partners in that as well. But when COVID-19 showed up, it very quickly became clear that our priorities for the next at least 6 months to a year are going to have to be dramatically different. And we're focusing on retaining the wonderful and diverse business community that we have here in Aiken and doing everything we can with the resources that we have.
And that's the Chamber's focus also. We need to make sure our businesses survive, and then we'll go back to helping them grow and thrive, is the way we've been saying it on our end.
Absolutely.
So Tim, who is this program designed for? What are the qualifications to apply for this money?
Well, first of all, there are a number of programs out there, and we've worked at the city to really be a resource. I know the Chamber has as well, and I want to commend the Chamber for excellent work that you've done on your website. As I've handled a lot of these loan applications, Mandy Collins at the Chamber was working in the background and with others I know and developed a wonderful resource guide to everything that's available, including our own HELPS program, or the Healthy Economy Loan Program. We've worked very hard to make sure to match people up with what's available through the Small Business Administration and the federal efforts, both including economic injury disaster loans through the SBA and now the payroll protection program that was recently passed, to our program that's really designed as a bridge. It's available to any business with fewer than 25 full-time equivalents. So if you've got a lot of part-time and you can crunch that down into 25 full-time folks or thereabouts, you're qualified. You need to have a physical bricks and mortar location inside the city limits of Aiken, and you need to have a business license with us that shows that address for that physical location and that's in good standing. Other than that, the loans do go through creditworthiness and underwriting standards. We're trying to be very generous with that. Not all applicants will be successful, but we're trying to make sure that we can help as many folks as possible.
So I understand that. First of all, let me just say, you're doing a yeoman's job on this. You've taken a lot of this responsibility. You're meeting with lots of folks. Give me an idea of how many folks you've met with in the last 2 weeks.
Yes, it's been very rewarding work, but it's been a lot of it. We've met with in person or one-on-one. We very quickly transitioned away from across the table meetings to more virtual meetings, just as everyone else has. But right over 100 businesses have had full-length counseling sessions to go over all the recovery options that are available, again, including the city's program. I'm estimating, because it's been difficult to track, but I know that I've talked to at least 250 businesses about various aspects of different programs, including unemployment compensation, which has changed drastically. And a lot of our local business community has really been in anguish about what to do with their employees. So we've tried to be helpful as a resource in that area as well.
Well, you're doing a great job. So back to the revolving loan fund, what does the application look like? What kind of documentation does a business owner have to bring in to start talking with you?
The application itself is available both on the city's website at cityofaikenSC.gov, and it's also available on that wonderful resource page that I mentioned about the Chamber of Commerce website. It can be downloaded. The application itself is fairly simple. It's 3 pages, and it just asks for some basic boilerplate information about your business. It does have a small section, which is very easy to provide a narrative about the impact COVID-19 has had on your business since March 1st of 2020. Beyond that, the real meat of the application and the real work is in providing the financials that will be needed to underwrite the loan. Those include any corporate documents, any 2018 tax return, year-to-date P&L, and a year-end P&L for 2019.
Okay. All right. So they get all that, they gather that, they bring that in. What happens next?
What happens next is that, as I say, the folks at Security Federal, who graciously agreed to be our servicers, did so a couple of weeks before they realized they would be doing a lot of work for the business community with the payroll protection program. So we get that with the lenders there. They do the reviews and pull the credit checks. Initially, they were turning these right around in a couple of days. It has slowed down. We're telling people now we're going to need to give them at least a week to get that information back. But they are doing, and the only word I can come up with it for it is heroic work over there at Security Federal, because they're throwing out the lifelines right and left and writing a lot of these loans for people. So it's slowed down a little bit, but it still seems to be faster than the federal programs, and certainly more simplified and direct. So hopefully we can get an answer within 5 to 7 days.
So I think it's important to let people know that we're talking to each other on Tuesday, April the 8th, because things change so much day to day. But
Right.
As of today, how many of the revolving loans have been approved and checks written?
We've had 13 approved with checks written, so that's $130,000 that has gone out to the community. And we've got probably a half dozen that are set to close this week. And then we've got at least 35 applications that are under review currently. And every day we're taking new applications, which at this point we're really asking people to, as old-fashioned as it is, print out all the paper and drop it off through our drive-through window at 135 Lawrence Street, because that actually cuts some time from administration on our part having to download and print all that stuff out. We can get it right to the bankers.
Yeah, and it's also good to print it out and make a copy of it, because you'll need it. Businesses will need a lot of the same information for the SBA loans and the different programs that are available right now.
It's all the same information. So if you're working through the SBA, you're really in pretty good shape. If you do need assistance trying to gather those documents and you don't work with an accounting firm, you do it yourself, we do have some volunteers who are available through SCORE, the Small Business Development Center out at USC Aiken, and others that can kind of help you dive in and organize those records as they will need to be presented. The last step that I missed in that description is we, of course, get a recommendation on each loan in the city manager's office from Security Federal, and then the final decisions are made there in the city manager's office on a yay nay basis, and then we move on to scheduling a closing.
Now, Tim, how can somebody make an appointment with you?
There is a link that is available that we can publish along with this video. I have an appointment setting app so that people can select times when we are available, and that has worked very well. So I'll make that available through the Chamber's website along with this.
Well, very good. I think we've covered a lot of information quickly. I am so proud that the Aiken Chamber is a partner in this. We've got great partners, and I think we're doing good for the community. You've just heard a session of Ask the Expert, and I hope you've learned a lot from this.